Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS NBA Friday night. We got two games on. I'm recording this on Thursday evening. The Thursday night games haven't started yet. But as I'm recording this, I'm coming off a 2-0 night. I laid the points with the Celtics last night, and I laid the points with the Mavs as well. So coming off a 2-0 night, hopefully by the time you're watching this, I had another 2-0 night. We'll see. But yep, going through both games for Friday night. Let's do it.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
All right, so first up, we got Cleveland on the road in Orlando for Game 6. Cavs are leading this series 3-2. Actually, the home team is undefeated in this series. Nobody's won a road game yet. Magic are laying 4 points at home. The total sitting at 200.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 5-point Magic win. Final score 109-104 Orlando. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Cleveland. Jarrett Allen, big one here. He's listed as questionable. As we know, he sat out in Game 5, so we'll have to wait and see with him. Dean Wade is still out for Cleveland. He's been out for a little while, though. On the Orlando side, we got Gary Harris on the report. He's listed as questionable. Other than that, Magic should be good to go. All right, so let's talk about Game 6, and obviously we have to start with Game 5. Cleveland won, but it was close. They did not cover. Final score was 104-103. I took the under in that game, which lost thanks to a high-scoring fourth quarter. I thought I had it. After three quarters, I thought my under looked pretty good. Was not the case. Both these teams shot pretty well in the fourth quarter there. If you take a look at some of the numbers from Game 5, you can see how the Cavs won here. Rebounding battle was pretty close. Actually, Orlando out-rebounded them slightly, but turnovers go to Cleveland. Points in the paint, Cleveland. Fast break points, also Cleveland. And surprise, surprise, Orlando struggled to shoot the outside shot. That's becoming a recurring theme in this series. Magic were just 9 of 31 from 3, just 29%. And, I mean, that's been the case here. Orlando just cannot score on the road in Cleveland in this series. And to give you an idea of just how significant these splits are, check this out. Orlando on the road this series in Cleveland, averaging just 90.7 points per game, 38.1% from the floor as a team, just 25.2% from 3. Those are 15th or 16th out of 16 in the playoffs this year. So the worst offense in the NBA on the road so far this series. At home, they're averaging over 116 points per game, shooting over 53% from the floor, shooting 39.7% from 3. That's first, and second. So in these playoffs, this Orlando Magic offense has been the worst offense amongst all 16 playoff teams on the road in Cleveland. At home, they've been the best. They're first in offensive efficiency and first in field goal percentage. Welcome to handicapping the NBA playoffs. And conversely, we're looking at the same sort of splits with the Cleveland Cavs on the road in this series. On the road in the 2 games in Orlando. Now, it's only been 2 games. Cleveland's 19th in offensive efficiency, 18th in field goal percentage. And that's in postseason stats. So there's only 20 teams that have played postseason games, and the Cavs are 19th and 18th offensively on the road. Now, it's only 2 games, small sample size, but that gives you a pretty good idea of how this series has gone. Whoever is on the road just can't score points. That's how the series has gone so far. And Donovan Mitchell, I mean, it's getting to a point where I don't even know if we can say he's due for a bounce back. I mean, He's had a bad series, to put it delicately. He's averaging just 22.4 points per game, shooting 22.9% from 3 in this series. Assist-to-turnover ratio, 4.4 to 3.8. I mean, he has not played well at all. We're in Game 6. If he struggled in Game 1 and 2, I'd be like, oh, Mitchell should bounce back here in Game 3. We're in Game 6. He's just not playing well right now at all. So tell me why we shouldn't bet the Magic here in Game 6. In the 2 home games, Games 3 and 4, Orlando had the most efficient offense in the playoffs. So now that they're back home, Donovan Mitchell's not playing well. Cleveland's offense looked terrible. Both road games in Orlando. Short line like 3.5. Definitely. I'm on the Magic here. I'm going to lay it. I'm going to grab one of these 3.5s next game. Clips on the road in Dallas. This series is also 3-2. Dallas looking to close it out at home in Game 6. Mavs are laying 7.5 points, and the total sitting at 207. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 4-point Mavs win. Final score 110-106 Dallas. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Clips. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard on the report. He's listed as doubtful, so it doesn't look like he's going to return for this one. On the Dallas side, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's missed a couple games now. How many games has Tim Hardaway missed? Sorry about that. Should have that written down. He's missed the last 3. So he played in game 1 and 2 in this series. He missed the last 3. He's listed as questionable. So it's up in the air on whether or not the Mavs get Hardaway Jr. back for this one. So let's talk about game 6 here. And obviously we got to talk about game 5 first. Dallas wins comfortably. They won by 30 points, 123-93. And the score was pretty indicative of how that game went. I mean, it was a domination start to finish. Dallas was in complete control. And a huge reason for that is Luka Doncic finally showing up. He had not been having a good series up to that point. In games 1 through 4, he was averaging just 29 points per game, shooting under 39% from the floor. In games 1 through 4, just 26.5% from 3, averaging 3.75 turnovers per game. You can see the numbers in game 5 look much better, except for the 3-point shooting. Still shot just 25% from outside in game 5, but every other aspect of his game was much better. He had 10 assists in there. Luka played great. But in my opinion, the biggest X factor in this matchup is right here. James Harden and Paul George. These guys went nuclear in game 4. They each scored 33 points apiece. Combined shot 63.9% from the floor, 73.3% from 3. That was one of the reasons I bet Dallas so heavy in game 5 was I was thinking there's no way these guys do that again. And it's exactly what we saw. In game 5, these two guys combined for 22 points, 24% from the floor, 23.1% from 3. Now the Clips go on the road to Dallas, and that might be a good thing because the Clippers have actually been the best road offense in the playoffs. Now we're only talking about 2 games. They played 2 games in Dallas so far, but they're shooting 50% from the floor and 48.3% from 3 in those 2 games. Both are first in the playoffs. So the Dallas Maverick, the LA Clippers have been the best road offense in the playoffs so far. In games 3 and 4 in Dallas, they averaged 12.7 offensive rebounds per game, which is huge because this is a Dallas Mavericks defense that doesn't let their opponents grab offensive rebounds. That 12.7 number is the second best in the NBA on the road, second to only the New York Knicks. So if the Clippers are able to do that again and be that active on the offensive glass, they should be right in this game. The question is, are they going to be able to do that again? Because like I said, Dallas is not usually a defense that lets you get opportunities as far as second chance points. But it's not just the Clippers' offensive rebounds that's been a problem for Dallas. In those 2 home games, the outside shooting wasn't there. In those 2 home games, in games 3 or 4, 29.4% from 3. Dallas was. That's 14th out of the 16 playoff teams. And the teams surrounding them, Miami, New Orleans, Lakers. What do they all have in common? All 3 are eliminated. So it's those 3 in Dallas. Those are the bottom 4 teams shooting the outside shot at home in the playoffs. That needs to be there. Luka needs to start hitting those outside shots. The question is, can we put our money on that happening? And it's truly a tough call. In my opinion, the safest angle to take is that Paul George and James Harden aren't going to score 66 points and shoot 75% from the floor again. That was an anomaly in game 4, and I will happily fade that. So in game 5, I took Dallas, and I also said on the live show I like the Clippers team total under. I don't know if I want to lay 7.5 yet, but I'm down to play that Clippers team total under. You can get the Clippers team total under 100.5 on FanDuel at -115. Yeah, I'm going to take that. This has been an under series for the most part. We did see it go over the total a couple games in a row, but for the most part, this has been a slow-paced defensive series. I don't trust this Clippers team at all, and if James Harden and Paul George are about to go out there and do it again, then I'll take the loss, but I'm willing to put my money against that. I think the Clippers are pretty limited offensively, especially without Kawhi Leonard. So give me the Clippers team total under 100.5, and I guess I'd lean Dallas minus the points, but I'm not really crazy about the outside shooting numbers from Dallas. They're really struggling to get their threes to fall. Luka Doncic specifically really struggling to get his outside shots to fall. So I'd lean towards I'm going to bet the Clippers team total under, and I'd lean towards Dallas minus the points as well. Live show, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through NHL first, then NBA, then MLB. It's Friday night, so it's loaded. We got 15 baseball games on. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets or the top bets from anyone on the staff here, head over to KyleKirms.com. They're posted right up there on the website. There's also a link to join the Discord on there if you're interested. Let's have ourselves a great Friday night. Let's get the weekend started right. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.